Greetings friends and welcome back to Recon by Fire. For today's battle, we have the World Leaders playing the new Berserker Warband detachment. They are being led by a Demon Prince on foot with the -1 damage enhancement, 3 Forge Fiends, Karn leading a 10-man squad of Berserkers inside of a Rhino, 2x6 8-bound, each being led by the new Slaughterbound, one with the Berserker Warglaive, a squad of Jackals, and 2 squads of Chaos Spawn. Orks are going to be playing the Warhorde detachment today. They are led by Gaz and Makari along with 2 Mega Knobs. They're bringing 2 squads of Tank Bustas and 2 squads of Flash Gits, each paired with their own truck. 2x20 squads of boys along with 2 Pain Boys, and they are each led by a War Boss, one with the extra movement enhancement and one with the more attacks enhancement. They're each going to be riding in 2 battle wagons, 2 squads of Gretchen, and 1 squad of Storm Boys. For today's battle, we're playing Mission Bravo, which is Purge the Foe. Mission rule is Smoke and Mirrors, and deployment is Tipping Point. For pre-game actions, the Slaughterbound and company are going to scout towards the center. Chaos Spawn are going to move into the building. Second squad of 8-bound are going to stage inside the building an inch off the wall. Second squad of Chaos Spawn are going to move towards the Orcs' natural expansion. Top of round 1 and the World Leaders are going first. They draw Engage on all fronts and Sabotage as their secondaries for the turn. Blessings for the round are Sustain Hits 1 and Reroll Charges. Start of the movement phase and the Rhino is going to push onto the natural expansion, remaining an inch off the wall. Chaos Spawn are going to do a slight reposition and begin the sabotage. Demon Prince is going to push forward but remain behind the template. Jackals are going to sticky the home objective and remain in place. Chaos Spawn roll a Wicked Advance and get up close and personal with the Gretchen. Forge Fiend is going to stage for next turn. Second Forge Fiend is going to reposition into a firing lane. Slaughterbound is bloodthirsty and moves in on Gaz. It's charge o'clock and the 8-bound are into Gaz with a 6. Chaos Spawn make it into the Gretchen and position themselves where they're close enough to consolidate onto the truck. Chaos Spawn are going to swing into the Gretchen and manage to take down 6 of them. They crack back but fail to score a wound. World Leaders will spend a command point on Epic Challenge, giving the Slaughterbound precision. It's going to go Super Saiyan, giving it 3 additional attacks and devastating wounds. In response, the Orcs are going to spend a command point on Artist Nails, making the unit -1 to wound. Gaz will survive the onslaught at just 2 wounds. The rest of the 8-bound will swing into the Mega Knobs, cleaning them up, but Makari tanks a whopping 10 strikes and survives, so Gaz will live on to crack back. And crack back he does, picking up 4 of the 8-bound. That is going to end the turn for the World Leaders. They will score 4 points for Engage on all fronts, Sabotage is ongoing, and they score a kill for primary. Bottom of round 1 for the Orcs, they will draw Engage on all fronts and establish Locust as their secondaries for the turn. Gretchen successfully farm an additional command point. Start of the movement phase and Gaz and Makari are going to bravely run away from the Slaughterbound. Flash Gits are going to disembark from the nearby truck. The truck will then burn rubber towards the center of the board. Gretchen are going to fall back onto the natural expansion. Flash Gits will disembark from the nearby truck. Battle Wagon is going to push forward, getting on the natural expansion and staging for next turn. Second truck heads towards the center with the Tank Bustas. Start of the shooting phase and the Flash Gits are going to fire into the Chaos Spawn, taking 1 down and leaving another at just 2 wounds remaining. Second squad of Flash Gits into the 8-bound, taking 1 down and leaving another alive at 1. Indirect from the Battle Wagon fails to do anything, so we go straight into charges and the Flash Gits make theirs into the 8-bound. Second squad makes it into the wounded Chaos Spawn. The truck makes its charge into the Slaughterbound. The truck and the Flash Gits start us off swinging into the 8-bound. They manage to pick up the remainder of the squad but leave the Slaughterbound alive. Slaughterbound is absolutely bloodthirsty and swings back, picking up the entire squad of Flash Gits. Flash Gits manage to easily chop up the Chaos Spawn. That is going to end the turn for the Orcs. They will hold on to Engage on all fronts and discard established Locust. World Leaders will score 3 points for completing the Sabotage, and both players manage to score a kill for 4 points. Top of turn 2 for the World Eaters, they will draw Overwhelming Force and extend battle lines as their secondaries for the turn. Blessings of Corn are sustained hits and fight on death. World Eaters will hold but do not hold more and will score 4 points on primary. Slaughterbound no longer has a squad and cannot res an 8-bound. If you're liking the video thus far, this would be a great time to smash that subscribe button. Start of the movement phase and the second 8-bound squad are going to push out towards the center. Forge Fiend will reposition in attempts to move block the battle wagon. Chaos Spawn are going to push backwards to screen out the deep strike. Forge Fiend is going to push forward to get better lines of sight and hopefully get something inside of 18 inches. Final Forge Fiend is also going to push towards the center to get line of sight. End of the movement phase, Orks are going to rapid ingress the battle wagon. Start of the shooting phase and the Forge Fiend is going to fire at the flash kits. It is outside of 18 inches and manages to take down only 2 of them. Second Forge Fiend will open fire on the truck and it survives at just a single wound. Reluctantly, the third Forge Fiend will fire on the same truck. This proves to be enough to finally take it down. With no shooting left, the tank busters are going to disembark, screening out a charge for Gaz. Time for charges and the 8-bound are into the tank busters with a 5. 8-bound proceed to make short work of the tank busters. Gaz is outside of 3 inches to avoid the consolidate, and they choose to stay off the objective in case overwhelming force is drawn. For ongoing combat, the truck will swing its wrecking ball into the Slaughterbound, knocking off a wound. Slaughterbound will swing back and the truck survives at 1 wound yet again. Ugh. That is going to end the turn for the World Eaters. They'll score 5 points for extend battle lines and discard overwhelming force for a command point. Bottom of round 2 for the Orks, they have engaged on all fronts from last turn and draw Assassination as their secondaries for the turn. They will call the Wog. They hold but do not hold more and will score 4 points on primary. Gretchen successfully farm another command point. At the start of the movement phase, Warboss, Painboy, and the 20 boys are going to disembark from the battle wagon. 22 minutes later, they finish moving towards the Rhino. Second squad of tank busters are going to disembark from the truck that's in engagement. They will reposition to get line of sight on the Forge Fiend. To avoid being overwatched, Gaz will run from one building to the other. Flash Gits will get on the point and go after the 8-bound. Second squad of boys are going to disembark the battle wagon and go after the Forge Fiend on the center objective. World Leaders are going to fire Overwatch and manage to scoop up 4 of the boys. First battle wagon will move in on the Forge Fiend. The second goes after the Slaughterbound. Start of the shooting phase, Flash gets into the 8-bound and they scoop up 2 of them. Battle wagon into the Forge Fiend fails to score a wound. Bomb Squid into the 8-bound scores a single mortal. Tank busters fire everything into the Forge Fiend, leaving it alive at 9. Going into charges and the blue squad makes the dual charge into the Forge Fiend and the 8-bound. Battle wagon makes its charge into the Slaughterbound. Orks are going to tank shock and that proves to be enough to take the big man down. Red squad attempts to charge the Rhino and fails. Orks are going to command reroll and it fails yet again. Start of the fight phase and the World Leaders are going to spend 2 CP on -1 incoming damage to at least deal with the Power Claws. Blue squad is going to split attacks, sending 9 boys and a Power Claw into the 8-bound and still manage to scoop up everyone minus the Slaughterbound. Warboss, Painboy, and the remaining Choppas all go into the Forge Fiend, taking it down. It does explode though, scoring 3 wounds on the nearby Forge Fiend and taking down a single boy. Battle wagon into the Forge Fiend brings it down to just 8 wounds. Slaughterbound is going to epic challenge the Warboss, and thanks to the extra damage from the Warglaive, just barely takes him down through the Feel No Pains. 3 of the 8-bound manage to fight on death and pick up 12 of the boys. That is going to end the turn for the Orks. They are going to score 5 points for Assassination and discard Engage on all fronts. World Leaders got a kill, and Orks got kill and kill more. Top of round 3, and the World Leaders will draw Cleanse and No Prisoners as their secondaries for the turn. They have chosen Sustained Hits and Lethal Hits as their blessings for the round. They hold but do not hold more and will score 4 points on primary. Start of the movement phase, Karn and the Berserkers will disembark the Rhino. They will proceed to get up close and personal with the red squad of boys. Forge Fiend is going to go after Makari and the Tank Busters. Demon Prince is going to push towards the center of the board. Jackals are going to reposition to maintain the lone op on the Demon Prince, but also screen. Slaughterbound is going to move in on the Flash Gits. Forge Fiend that is engaged with the battle wagon will fire into the boys on the center objective, with them being the closest eligible target, and picks up all but the Pain Boy. Demon Prince attempts to pick up the Pain Boy, but only scores a single wound. Forge Fiend into the Tank Bustas. It does not get rerolls as the Pain Boy is still the closest target, but it does manage to pick up 4 of them nonetheless. Berserkers will fire their pistols into the red squad, failing to score a wound, but Karn does blow his arm off for 3 wounds. It's charge o'clock and the Demon Prince makes it into the Pain Boy. Forge Fiend fails its 5-inch dual charge, and so they'll use the Demon Prince for a free reroll. It makes it in, but they do not tank shock to save the CP. Karn and company make the charge into the red squad. They do not have the movement to screen out Gaz. Orks elect not to heroically intervene. Orks are able to interrupt, so the World Eaters are going to fight with Karn first and spend 1 command point to epic challenge the War Boss yet again. In response, Orks will spend 2 command points on Orks is Never Beaten to have a guaranteed fight on death. Karn manages to not only take down the War Boss, but the Pain Boy as well, and the rest of the Berserkers pick up 17 of the boys. Orks then fight on death, and it proves to be an absolute slaughter, killing the entire squad and Karn. Demon Prince then eviscerates the Pain Boy. Slaughterbound will pick up the 3 Flash Gits and consolidate onto the Gretchen. Forge Fiend into the lone Tank Busta and actually does pick him up. Gretchen fight back and manage to score a single wound. War Wagon scores 4 wounds off of the Forge Fiend. It cracks back for nothing. At the end of the fight phase, Karn will stand back up at 3 wounds. That is going to end the turn for the World Eaters. They will score 2 points for cleanse and 5 points for no prisoners. Bottom of round 3 for the Orks, they will draw Storm Hostile Objective and Mark for Death, which they'll immediately cycle with new orders for Bring It Down. They hold but do not hold more and will score 4 points on primary. Gretchen on the point and the truck are battle shocked. The second squad of Gretchen do successfully farm a command point. Start of the movement phase and Gaz is going after the Demon Prince. The remaining boys move towards Karn and the battle wagon will chase after them. Truck is simply going to sit back and heal. Storm Boys arrive out of Deep Strike, hoping to take down the Slaughterbound. Shooting phase, the battle wagon will fire into the Demon Prince, failing to score a wound. Gaz will follow suit, firing into the Demon Prince, and also fails to score a wound. Battle wagon and the boys fire into Karn, but he makes all of his saves. The raging isn't over, and Gaz makes his charge into the Demon Prince. Battle wagon's gonna make the charge into Karn. Orks are going to spend a command point to tank shock here, and down goes the Betrayer. Gaz will use his strike profile into the Demon Prince, and even with -1 damage and a command reroll on a save, it does just enough to take it down. Time for ongoing combat, and to the surprise of no one, the Slaughterbound takes down the Gretchen, consolidating back onto the point. Makari will attempt to poke the Forge Fiend and barely scratches the paint. Forge Fiend is going to scrape back and actually does take Makari down. On his way out though, he is going to smash that subscribe button. Battle Wagon smashes into the Forge Fiend and finally takes it down. That is going to end the turn for the Orks. They will score 4 points for Storm Hostile Objective and 2 points for Bring It Down. They scored a kill for 4 points, and the World Eaters will score kill and kill more for 8 points. Top of round 4, and World Eaters will draw Containment and Storm Hostile Objective as their secondaries for the turn. They score sustained hits and devastating wounds as their blessings for the round. They hold but do not hold more and will score 4 points on primary. Unfortunately, it was getting a little too late and our players decided to talk out the last round, with the Forge Fiend taking out Gaz and securing the objective, the Rhino tank shocking the remaining boys while the Chaos Spawn scored Containment, and the Slaughterbound will pick up the Storm Boys. Bottom of round 4 for the Orks, and they will draw Secure No Man's Land and Recover Assets as their secondaries for the turn. They will hold for 4 points. Battle Wagons will secure 2 objectives for 5 points, and the Truck and Battle Wagon will perform the Recover Assets for 3 points. That will end the turn with the World Eaters scoring 8 points for Kill and Kill More. That's going to make the final score with paint 67 to 57 in favor of the World Eaters. Special thanks to Drew for coming out and playing, and thank you for watching. If you haven't already, smash that subscribe button and help us reach our goal of 1,000 subs, as we are very near to it. That will do it for today's battle, but until next time, as always my friends, happy gaming.